Hey guys, this is Ron. Got another project. I still got a lot of that Spanish cedar left, so I'm going to make another platter. And I'm going to color it. And I'm going to do some pyrography on it. So, I don't know what yet on the pyrography part, but maybe a crawdad or something, I don't know. But anyway, I guess get started. Alright, so here it is. And when I put it on the bandsaw and cut it, I got some flat spots. So I'm going to make it perfectly round, and then I'm going to cut that corner off and shape it into a platter on the bottom. Get it sanded up, color it. Hadn't figured out what color yet, but I have figured out what I want to put in the middle. I'll put a fleur-de-lis crawfish in there. So I just got to find some colors that this will show up good. Probably yellow and then red. I want a light color. Or I might just leave it neutral like it is and then put red in it. Anyway, we'll see. I got some traditional slack, and I'm just going to hit it, see what happens. Now I'm going to have to wait for it to dry, but I think I'll get a better finish. It'll raise that grain up a little bit, and I'll be able to get a good sanding. I hadn't even sanded it. When it dries, and it don't take long to dry, so I should be good. So I'll let that dry, and then we will sand it. Man, that grain popped up like cactus spikes on there. It's got another about 15 minutes or so, but it's just sticking up everywhere, so it ought to sand out great. And that way I can leave it natural. Then when I put the crawfish on the other side, this will darken up a little bit with oil and stuff like that, but it ought to be smooth, smooth, smooth. And you can just feel it. It's everywhere. Even on the not ingrained stuff, it's poked up. So I'm going to start with 80 and work it up to steel wool. I even got some 1000 grit. I might even do that too. But let me let it finish drying. It's got about 15 more minutes. Okay, here's another tool talk. Now this is nice. I love this tool. But never ever ever forget to put a sanding pad on it and then try to use it, because it cuts all the loops off to stick a pad on it. So now I gotta find another one and glue it onto this so I can be able to stick a pad on it. My bad. Alright, let's sand it. Wow, that was with just 80 grit, and it's already smooth, so I can't wait to see what it looks like when I run up the numbers. Alright, it was sanded up to quad alt steel wool and then Yorkshire gritted. Now I'm just going to put a little Danish oil on it. And I think that'll be just fine for what I'm looking for. The novelty's going to be on the other side. This side is just wood. That's not bad. It shimmers. Kind of the light hits it just right. It just shimmers. But the Danish oil will penetrate and it'll actually get hard and give it a protective finish. It's smooth. I mean, it's not even making no noise when I'm rubbing this rag on here. Alright, so I'm going to flip it around and dig it out. We'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to put my tailstock up there, give a little pressure. That's going to make sure that this thing is set just right. And that way, I know I got a good grip on it. So, let me flip it around. Let's measure it. Right there. Okay, it's drilled. I didn't go all the way because I got plenty of room on the bottom if I make a mistake. I didn't want to go all the way to the bottom because then I can always take more out. I can't put it back. That might look cool. I'll cut it. I'm gonna sand all this out, seal it, and then go from there. Sharp tools, huh? Pretty sharp. I'm cutting ribbons for a change. I got me a new grinder, a low speed. I think I'm gonna end up getting a CBN wheel for it, but right now I got like a 80 grit and 120 or 100 and something. Anyway, it's a fine grit, and one of those jigs. Man, it works. Okay, so I haven't done anything but sand it nice and smooth. Haven't put any more Yorkshire grit or nothing, because the carbon paper transfers better on plain untouched wood. Once I get it burned and stained, then I'll brush on some oil and seal it up that way. Okay, so I got it taped on there, and I got the stencil taped to the carbon, so I can lift it up, check it, and I'm gonna get a pen and just trace all of the black in here. And once I get it traced, I'll burn it. Okay, to trace it, I use a medium point pen. You could use a blunt instrument if you want, but the pen tells me where I've been and where I need to go. So we'll just start. And I use a back and forth motion. That ensures that I get a good transfer. And then when I go to burn it, I'll make sure I got this picture somewhere that I can look at it and so I can make sure I burn it properly. And again, concentrating and talking at the same time is a little difficult for me, but you can do it. You just got to take your time. And when you go to burning it, you're going to have to jagged these edges up, but I'll be able to see that from the picture. And some of them you can mess up. It's the overall effect of burning and trying to get the details of the body of the crawfish. Anyway, I can talk, but let me finish tracing this out and I'll be back. Alright, so I got it all traced out, and I'm just gonna double check it. And there she is. So if I burn that like it's scribbled on here, pardon me, I forgot that. You see that right there? I forgot that. There. Now, that ought to do it. So let me get set up and I'll burn it. Alright, so I got my razor tip. Got a little cherry red deal here, so let's just start burning. And you just kind of sweep it. It's not hard. Basically just follow the lines. Take your time. If you burn it, you're outside the lines and you messed it up. So let's do these eyes. Can you see? I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if I can get it the right angle to see it or not. Yeah, this is working. So y'all get the point. And there, see I got the eyes. So let me keep burning and I'll come back when it's done. Okay. So there it is. And if I just want to play with it a little bit, I can do some more stuff in there. But I'm done. So now I'm going to take some red dye and color between the lines. Okay, so I only had to search for 30 minutes to find my damn paintbrush, but be careful and don't get a wet brush next to the lines because it'll bleed out. I found that out the hard way. So make sure your brush is kind of dry when you get close to the edges. In the middle, doesn't matter. But when you get close to the edges, make sure your brush is pretty dry. So, and be careful because one drop of stain gets anywhere you don't want it. It's a pain to get it off. And basically everything's going to be red except those antennas right there. See how my brush is wet right there? Let it dry out a little bit before you get close to the edge. Now some edges don't matter, like right there. Looking good. And there it is. Now all I'm going to do is put an oil over it after this dries. See, it's a little wet right there. But it's alcohol based, it won't take long. Now I could put some touch-up colors, but I just leave it like that. I think it looks good. Yeah. So, let it dry and I'll put some oil on it. Put it back on the lathe. Well, that is a nice thick coat of Danish oil. Now I'll keep putting it on there. And eventually, Well, I'll put it back on the lathe on my Longworth chuck, and then I'll show you how I cut the bottom off. But it's the same as I always do. But, well, you look good. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm just going to go around and tighten these up. Go opposite. They don't have to be super tight, because you're not going to spin it but about 300 RPMs or so, maybe 5. It says don't go over 6, but I'm just cutting that off, so I don't really need a lot of speed. And my tool is like super sharp, so I shouldn't have any trouble with it. It's kind of a pain to put it on here, but it sure makes the bottom pretty. And I always just go around and give it another twist. And I can't cut too deep because that bowl is thin. So I'm just going to give a little concave to it so it sits on this foot. Good deal. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so that's 400. And ooh, that thing's thin. I got 83 on this ball. Right, I'll sign it off and sign it, and I'm done. So I'll just put my logo on the bottom. And the date. And then I'll oil that and call it good. So thanks guys, I'm glad y'all joined me. Like and subscribe. I'll eventually run out of Spanish cedar because I really need some more spalted type woods or some gnarly looking thing to play with, but right now I got to burn through this to pay for it. And I'm glad y'all can stop by. This is Ron's Wood Turning Shop, and y'all have a great day.